Good evening, Must Players. I'm Julian, this is Fish. Welcome to our show where we talk about all things gaming, film, tech. It's a bit different here today, though.
Yeah, we're minus a Santos, but we do have Schwarzenegger.
We did bring in Arnie. Hey, Arnie.
I think it's a market improvement, don't you? I mean, this. By the way, I'm still here. Like, this is just my outer shell. Basically, after watching the film, I realised that I wasn't reaching my full potential unless I was.
Arnie, you sound a bit different.
What? I know I've lost the accent. That's fine. I know it's still Mark,
It's
guys.
just an
It's
actor
Mark.
thing. The accent
He
is
puts
just
it on.
It's an
I
act.
see. Good on you, man. I was totally sold.
Santo-
I thought you were Austrian.
Santo, where are you?
Yes.
Tell us.
I'm
please.
actually in sunny Darwin. I don't understand what part of Darwin.
What is this?
This glorious sunset.
Is that a cannon? Is that a cannon?
Sorry, I can't hear you guys, and the webcam's going all over the shop. But I literally arrived in this city all of about an hour ago and checked into the hotel, had a power nap, was woken up by your call. And so I've just come out here to the beautiful shoreline, although I'm not exactly sure what part of Darwin this is, just for a bit of sunset and chats, you know, can't go wrong. And by the way, I got you guys a gift to see,
See you in the
just to
NT.
prove where I am right now. It cost $25, but frankly, I think it was worth it just for the
Man, I'd pay 50 for
the
that.
comedic value.
I got really
The woman-
worried there for a second.
There's nothing.
Yeah, well, that was
There's
the
nothing
point,
wrong with
Julesy.
this.
By the way, the woman who makes this, very interesting lady, she hand paints all of these hats and is just about to open up a store in Adelaide. I don't know how this hat is going to sell there, but I'm sure she's got a few puns on SA that she's waiting to use.
Has that logo been adopted by NT? Is See You in,
It's
in
not
the NT?
officially.
It's not like...
It's like blown up, but it's everywhere up there. Apparently, I've seen a lot of cars getting around, and I think it's brilliant because now I think about Northern Territory a lot more than I used to. From a fantastic pun. Big show tonight,
Yeah,
Julesy.
we've got heaps to talk about.
Oh man, we've got some Disney Plus. We've got Arnie here because we're going to be breaking down Terminator Dark Fate.
And I'm really nervous to hear what you actually think. Because we didn't give too much away. Santo and I have already seen it, and then you saw it on Sunday.
I saw it Sunday, yes, and I'd sworn you to silence. I didn't want to know anything about it.
haven't spoken about
I was
it.
like, we're going to talk about it this week, so I'm looking forward to that one. But yeah, a few other things going on. But first, we need to talk about some Disney Plus.
We do. We need to make sure everyone knows what's going on.
Yeah.
There is only a week till Disney Plus comes out.
I can't believe it's already on us.
Sorry, in the US.
In the US.
You got to wait a whole other week if you're in Australia. But if you're in the UK, you're basically screwed. There's
When are they getting it? Are they not getting it?
There's no current date for the UK, so probably next year. Or many other places in the world. So basically, we've put together a bit of a cheat sheet. So here's everything you need to know about Disney Plus.
Disney Plus will launch November 12 in the US, as we just said, Canada and the Netherlands, but not UK. It'll launch a week later on November 19 in Australia and New Zealand.
Yep, and it's so it's not expected to be available to the whole world straight away. There's probably a 2-year wait for everyone else not on the list, up to, which is...
I'm surprised that we're not on that 2-year wait.
I think
We
it's
always
going
get
to
screwed.
cause some concern, so we'll delve into that a bit later on.
Yeah, yeah.
But what about the price points?
$8.99 a month, or $89 a year, which makes it around $7.41 a month, saving you nearly $19.
So you're better off, if you want to get it in for the year, you'll save yourself, what, $19 roughly.
Yeah, which, like, how many people only have a streaming service for like 6 months? I forget about my streaming service.
Anyway, well, that's basically 2 months free if you pay for the whole year. So
Huge.
Disney making the right move there. There's no tiered streams, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
So you're not going to pay extra if you want to
Like HD or 4K.
have HD, have extra screens. I think it's 4 different screens capped, and unlimited resolution.
Cool.
So there's none of that extra stuff there, which is good.
What's on it, Julesy?
Well, eventually there's going to be 7,500 episodes of TV programming
God.
and about 500 films. So
Wow.
we don't have an official list. I did reach out to Disney today to try and get a full list, but they're not releasing those details just yet. But we will know soon enough. It's 11 days away for us here in Australia.
Yeah, not too long. I like that it will be organised into 5 sections as well. There'll be Disney, Pixar, Star Wars, Marvel, and National Geographic.
5 sections, but I feel like it needs so much more than 5 sections.
They need a whole Simpsons
A whole lot
section.
of content's going to come under Disney, and you'd
Yeah.
presume that The Simpsons is going to come under that as well.
I guess, 'cause they
it's
own
not going to
Fox
come
now.
under Star Wars.
No.
But here's what we know in terms of content that's coming.
Mm.
Which this is the stuff that we found most interesting. So we're going to get all of the MCU films, including the Avengers Endgame at launch. They just announced that this week. It's going to include new Marvel shows, Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki. No Spider-Man though.
Because that's a Sony property.
Yes, that's
Sony's
interesting.
still sticking that
no
thing
Tom
in.
Holland Spider-Man, no Venom.
Which
Yeah,
I could understand if Venom's not on there, but the Holland ones, I know it's still a Sony property, but I'm excited about all 30 seasons of The Simpsons.
That's unbelievable.
Holy cow! I haven't watched The Simpsons in like 10 years, so I'm very excited to get back into it.
It'd be nice to
especially that
watch it all
first
from
10
the
years.
start, no interruptions, no massive box set and changing discs.
Yeah, that's because that's the way I watched it.
So many
before.
discs. Anyway, that's great. 30 seasons of The Simpsons just at your fingertips, which is wonderful.
You're excited about this?
Star Wars is... Well, we're going to get The Mandalorian from launch.
That's awesome.
But it's going to be...
Binge.
It's not going to come out straight away. It's going to be weekly episodes. which
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Which
that.
means we're going to have a lot more content to watch after The Rise of Skywalker. Going into next year, we're going to have fresh Mandalorian.
I wonder why they're doing that.
But due to some contractual issues, we're not going to have things like The Last Jedi or Solo, a Star Wars story, because Disney quite haven't worked out their,
They're still contracted out to
obligations.
other-
They're,
like
waiting for a
Stan,
few
whether-
things to clear.
Is it like Stan? We're talking like because Stan has all.
In
the
Australia, it'd be
Star
Stan,
Wars
but
stuff. Yeah.
Disney have actually teamed up with a cable channel called Stars in the US, and when you sign up for Disney Plus, they claim they're going to be ad-free. This is going to be an ad-free streaming service, but you'll actually receive some sort of advertisement for Stars in the
okay.
US.
Right.
So, but only for that content, and it's when you sign up for the thing. So,
Now I think this is huge. All of the Disney classics are going to be there. You know, your Snow White, Pinocchio, Cinderella, Lion King, Aladdin.
Yeah, they're opening up the vault.
everything. Like that is huge because only a few years ago you couldn't even buy all the DVDs. Like
Yeah.
they took them away for like every couple of years they take away the Little Mermaid, and you have to wait 10 years for it to come out of the vault. And it's like, man, I just want to
watch The Little
Flounder.
Mermaid. Yeah, so we're also going to have Pixar's content, which includes Toy Story. We're going to have massive shows like Frozen and new stuff like the Lady and the Tramp live-action movie, which reviews are coming out now.
Is that just for this?
Just for
That's
this.
not coming out on big screen, is
Yeah,
it?
no.
90s Marvel Comics X-Men animated series. Oh my god, that's almost as exciting as The Simpsons. That was the greatest. It's almost up there with like the Batman animated series. It was
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, really,
I think I
really
skipped a point here. What a
That's all good. We'll also have Avatar, and there's a whole 7 Avatars coming out. James Cameron's going Avatar crazy, and we haven't even seen the sequel yet, so that'll be interesting, and that's going to be heavily involved with Disney Plus. We're going to have the Muppets. They've got their own Baby Muppets, I think, is one of their shows that they've got.
Cool.
The kids are never going to get bored, I'll tell you that.
Nope.
We've got Lizzie McGuire returning, but I don't think this one's for the kids necessarily.
Yeah, that one's a weird one.
It's more catered for the people that
Nostalgic.
grew up watching Lizzie McGuire. So,
Yes, which I did.
Malcolm in the Middle,
Yeah, that's weird.
that was a Fox acquisition.
Oh, of course.
But
yeah.
I'm
Good
all
show.
for-
Great show. Yeah.
Malcolm in the Middle, that was one of the ones I watched when I was growing up.
All the National Geographic productions, which is huge as well. My partner Beck was really excited about that because we saw a bus go by with all the properties that were on it. And she's like, "What? National Geographic? We get to watch these sick docos?"
And who would have thought that National Geographic will be putting together a show titled, what is it?
The World According to Jeff Goldblum. Yes, sign me up because life will find a way.
Anyway, there is a 3-hour and 17-minute trailer on Disney's YouTube channel, which, if you feel like going through all that... Do I hear a cat? Santa, are you
Santa
okay?
is now a cat.
Oh, are you talking to me? Apologies.
Thought we heard a cat there.
There's some sort of creature. But I think this is really cool that you're able to download all content.
Yeah.
Because there's some things on Netflix and Stan that you can't download, and they're normally the good things.
Good for road trips.
Yeah.
Load it all onto the iPad. Here you go,
Yeah.
kids.
When you go on those long flights, download all of The Mandalorian and watch it.
And I will do that.
You definitely will.
So where you can watch it that's going to be an interesting thing. You can obviously watch it on all the usual places. You've got your Apple TV, including you can use your iPhone, iPad, or the browser as well. You can watch it on any Google device, including the Chromecast, Microsoft's Xbox One, Sony's PlayStation 4. You'll also be able to watch it, and Roku, which I haven't actually heard of, but it's a Roku TV.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know. I feel like I'm a bit behind there. But there's a really cool feature that Disney Plus have now put out as well. If you go onto their Twitter account, they're posting each of these new shows that episodes will be coming out. They'll be drip feeding. If you like the post that they've specified, they'll send you notifications to say, hey, there's a new episode coming out. So you can keep up to date with that. That's cool feature. But anyway, that's basically Disney Plus in a nutshell.
That's our our Disney sell. We didn't get paid for this, but we've just given you all the facts, and it sounds awesome.
Anyway.
Santo, what are you thinking, brother?
I'm over the moon. I'm actually really, really excited. Obviously, I'm going to sign up straight away. I've been waiting to see exactly what content is going to be on it, because I think there are a few deals that Disney did a couple of years ago before they even realised they wanted to do a streaming service that has basically signed off some of their content, like some of the Marvel movies, a couple of the Star Wars things, so that they're not going to be on the platform right away. I don't know if it's as big of an issue in Australia as it is over in the UK and the US, but yeah, I don't know. I just think that generally speaking, it's cheap. It's going to be available and perfect for families. I think that's where they're going to really win with this one, because I can't imagine anybody with a child not buying this.
Yeah, why would you?
Well, that's why Stan has been so great for Disney. But speaking of Stan and other streaming services, Disney's coming out on top just about for price range.
I think who's beaten them? Amazon Prime's taken them out just by $1 a month.
But I got to say, there's nowhere near the same amount of content on Amazon Prime as there is on Disney Plus. So $6.99 a month for Amazon Prime. Stan, you're going to pay about $14, $13.99 a month. Netflix, they're now up to almost $20 a month for a subscription service.
Yeah.
And then
that's for the high-end stuff.
One you've been trying out recently as well was Apple's streaming service.
Yeah, so Apple, because I just bought a new Mac, I got a year free of Apple TV Plus, or whatever it's called. So I thought I'd check it out, but it is $7.99 a month otherwise, which, when you're comparing that to what was Disney, $8.99, an extra $1, and you're getting 500 movies and 7,500
and all 30 seasons of The Simpsons. Not that that was the selling point for Meso.
but Apple TV, what I've watched so far, I watched this really great show on it called For All Mankind, which is about if the Soviets beat the Americans to the moon.
And is this
first.
an exclusive?
Yeah, they're all. I think from what I'm reading, they're all exclusives.
Yeah,
and it's all high-end exclusives, but there's like 5 of them.
Yeah,
and they don't have all the episodes.
You need your exclusive power.
Whereas and it's good. Like, I'll probably stick around. I've got a year of it, so I'll see how it goes. But after that, it's kind of like, why would I stick with that when I've got all this content? Basically, it feels like you're only going to really need Netflix and Disney.
Yeah. It's very true, and I think some of us are going to have to make some decisions. Do we let some of them go?
Oh, it's hard to, though, because they all have something good.
It was great.
Chopped off. I tell you what, Stan is not going to last.
No, Stan is...
Once they lost Disney, that's huge.
The other thing I wanted to mention is, because Australia is getting Disney Plus a week late, do you think we're going to see some piracy issues for The Mandalorian, especially?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's sad.
I mean, it's going to be one episode, but I think that's going to be a big blow to the Australian audience, because we're pretty big pirates here. Not me personally, but in Australia, we're known for being pirate lords.
Which is rubbish. But it really is sad. And it's I guess the one thing is, at least it's not all coming out in one hit, so they're not going to be able to. Well, they're not going to pirate the entire.
That's what's saving it, I guess.
The entire season, but it's kind of like, just wait a week, you jerks. Like, it's a week.
What about you, Santo? Do you reckon you can wait a week to watch the Mandalorian?
Well, it depends. I mean,
he's the pirate. He's the.
Hold
Look
on.
at that shirt. He's a pirate.
Look at that sunset.
Yeah, all right. Just because I have an anchor on my shirt doesn't mean I'm automatically. But I suppose it depends. Like, when it comes out, are we going to be permanently a week behind?
Oh yeah, that's actually interesting. So yeah,
we don't know.
If it comes out, we should have 2 episodes if it's a weekly.
You would
thing.
hope there would be 2 episodes on launch, Santo, and fingers crossed that's the case.
Absolutely. Look, I'm pretty keen. I do think it will bring about some piracy issues, just purely because, like you said, Australia is known for it. But I think for me, it's a week. We'll wait it out.
Yeah. Exciting times. Woo! I can't believe it's so close.
So close, 1 week away. And can I just quickly say that Star Wars Fallen Jedi is out next week, and I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I could go
next
on.
week too.
But it brings me to the next thing I want to talk about. Google has acquired Fitbit.
They're taking over the
They
world.
have paid $3 billion Australian, roughly,
Wow.
to acquire Fitbit. And not only does that mean that they've acquired all that technology, it also means that they've picked up 27 million Fitbit users' health activity.
Oh, yeah.
Google pretty much knows everything about you, including your heart
own
rate.
you. Yeah.
Santo, you don't use a Fitbit, do you?
No, I've got the Samsung Galaxy Watch, but as soon as this news broke, I was all over it. I was actually really, really keen to get a Fitbit purely because I've been using the new Pixel and I love it. So if it integrates with that in a much more effective way and a much smoother way, I don't know why I wouldn't jump across. I mean, Fitbit's got a great name, does what it does well, and if they can get a bit of Google's tech power behind them with software, I think it'll be a real winner. It's just
true.
It's
a
doing
great
wonders.
name for them to acquire.
It's doing wonders for Fitbit. They've their shares have increased by 17% since the news broke, which is pretty dramatic.
Yeah, that's massive, man.
Next thing we want to talk about. Oh boy, Fish. Can you start?
No, I think you guys should start. Terminator Dark Fate. We were going to break it down here. No spoilers, but I think we...
Minor spoilers, maybe.
I feel like you can't actually review this movie without giving away some minor spoilers because the story
opening.
is both one of the most surprising and most disappointing things of this film.
Can we put up like a...
Okay, minor Terminator.
You find out in the
Dark
first 2
Fate.
seconds anyway.
Yeah. Well, first of all,
Marcus
you've been
just
holding
joined.
out.
Marcus,
You've been waiting a week to talk about it.
yeah.
What are your initial thoughts? What did you think?
I thought it was a really fun action film. I thought it was an interesting plot point
Yeah.
off the back of T2
Yeah.
because it kind of feels like everything they did in Terminator 2 feels kind of wasted.
Gone.
But I did really enjoy the movie.
Yep.
Okay.
Santo, what are you thinking?
I think as an action film, it was great. It was fine. And I really liked a lot of the acting. I think, I'm not sure what her name is, but the one who plays that half-human hybrid was really, really good as a new character.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem I had is with how they just treated, I suppose, Arnie and John's relationship. We don't see John in this movie, even though there were rumors about that beforehand. But basically, the way they go with the story means that nothing that happened in Terminator 2 really mattered. I didn't even realize this as I walked out of the cinema. It was only later when I thought I've got to go back and watch that film that I realized that, you know, if we throw all of that out of the movie, it almost cheapens all of that storyline out. It basically just cheapens T2 and T1, which are undeniably the best 2 Terminators. None other since have really captured that. So that's where I was a bit disappointed. I think the action's fine. I think Arnie's funny. I think the acting is good. But I just wish they hadn't gone for like a reboot and homage at the same time. I think that sort of hurt it a bit.
Yeah, well, we should give away that John Connor is killed at the start of this movie. It's the opening scene. It's not really a spoiler, but they do this crazy, you know, de-aging CGI thing where we see young Edward Furlong, who was John Connor, the young John Connor in T2, and a younger Linda Hamilton, Sarah Connor. And a T-800 turns up, and I think it was in 1998. It's after Judgment Day has happened, and kills John Connor. And basically, this movie is showing that there's another John Connor. It's this Mexican lady. I can't remember her name, but she's basically the new savior for another war that's going to come. So Judgment Day is always going to be. It's inevitable. That's what they're saying. And I think.
But Skynet doesn't exist essentially because they were successful.
They killed Skynet. Cyberdyne Systems, Skynet, all gone because of what they did in T2. So they were successful in some regards, but. A new tech company comes in and creates an AI that creates the Terminators and blah blah blah.
Legion.
That's it.
What? Anyway,
Stupid name. Like you have
Hated it.
Skynet and Cyberdyne, these really cool names, and then Legion, whatever. But I think that's always been the problem with the sequels that they've basically boycotted now, is they've all said that Terminator 2 was basically, it didn't matter. Like, because Terminator 2 is one of the best movies of all time. Like, it's under Jurassic Park, it's my favorite film. I own a giant bust of Arnie from that film. He sits in my bedroom sometimes. But it's just a fantastic film, and it's hard to
Is he on?
Yeah, he's on.
Oh, he's on.
It's hard to you're never going to top that film, but to go in and make it that film is redundant really grates a lot of the fans, right? But it's like, okay, but if you're going to go with it and make it a cool reason for why you're going to do it, but basically, like you said, Santo, they're just rebooting it by telling the same story. They're saying, okay, there's another woman that we need, another savior, I should say, that we need to protect so that the human race can thrive. It's the same thing. Why kill off John Connor? He's the series like hero, and it's kind of like whatever. But saying that, this movie, the start of it, the first half an hour, or even the first half before they get to Arnie, feels like Terminator 2.
It was fantastic. That whole chase sequence in the first part of the movie.
Oh man!
Don't want to talk about it too much, but
it is epic action. It's Terminator 2 action, and it's huge. It feels great. It feels gritty. It feels like end of the world sort of stuff. I was very excited about it when it was happening. Me and my buddy Reese, we went and saw it in IMAX, and we were just jumping around like, yeah, this is the greatest thing ever. But honestly, I think the thing that kills us, and it pains me so much to say it, because, like I said, I own a bust of the man. They did not need Arnold Schwarzenegger in this movie. They should have kept him out of it, because what they did with the Terminator is stupid. Like, it makes sense in terms of like a writing way, and like it's all there, but I won't spoil that for people because it is things that come out. But my biggest thing, I said to my friends before I went into it, what's going to make or break this movie for me is why the T-800 is still there. Like, the T-800 burned at the end of Terminator 2. He came down, he did the thumbs up, and we were all like, oh no, it's sad,
Why is he in it?
But he comes back again. Oh, they can just send another one back, so it makes it redundant. But then the reason for him to be existing and the reason for him to be helping them is a bit silly, I think.
Can I just say real quick, I'm just going to interject.
Yeah.
Even though you said that wasn't necessary, that was the only good bit of the film in terms of new storytelling. As we said, that they've basically just rehashed the old Terminator storyline. And I genuinely think that was the only bit that was surprising to me, what they did with Arnie's character. Everything else felt very by the books. And Fish, I want to ask you this, because obviously you're a big Terminator man.
Yeah.
It seemed very obvious to me that I suppose Terminator should have been a circular story, that once we got the third one, it literally should have ended with John Connor sending back his dad after realizing that that Arnie was going after him.
Totally.
And then it's essentially just like a Groundhog Day spread across 3 movies.
Yeah.
But I think it fell victim to the producers wanting more money, wanting to milk this franchise, and now unfortunately they almost can't give us that satisfying ending, which would have wrapped up the trilogy so well.
Well, speaking of money, Santo, it's actually flopped quite a bit in the box office, and it's expected to lose money.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really
opening
surprising.
weekend in the US, it got 29 million.
Like, honestly, I don't, like, I will keep turning up to see Terminator movies because I like the you put the theme on, I'm in there. They're always fun.
It's how you ring the
What a
doorbell to
simple
get in.
man.
Here.
I do. Every time I come here. But yeah, I agree, Santo. They're trying to franchise it, and they keep failing. So they probably could have wrapped it up with a Terminator 3 where Kyle Reese goes back at the end, because it really is when you're messing with time travel, there really is no end. Like, there's so many possibilities, which actually the last Terminator movie, Genesis, explored a bit, and that kind of made a bit more sense. But it was just funny that they wiped all this away and then came back with something that was almost as good as Terminator 2, but then I felt like, and you're right, Sando, it is the freshest stuff, what we get with Arnie, but it's just not what I wanted. And I understand it, and I don't love it or hate it. It's kind of like this, like, oh, yeah, all right. And then after I was just like, oh, man, but just how cool he is in Terminator 2. And it's actually the perfect arc for the T-800. He goes from a bad guy to a good guy in the second one, and then he kind of, without spoiling anything, it's like about a robot finding his humanity, right? Yeah. But all of this aside, actually after that, it kind of lost me because the action turns into this CGI rubbish. Like there's one bit where they're like hanging over the side of a dam and they're like falling out of a plane and all. I'm like, just keep it grounded. It's Terminator. Like Terminator 2 didn't need these stupid sequences to make it epic. You know what I mean? Like all you needed was a truck going down a canal.
Just quickly, what did you think about the new villain and his form?
Awesome. Loved it.
It was basically T2 and T1 combined.
Yeah, he's made it. And that guy was fantastic. What I will say is the acting was pretty good across all of this. And Linda Hamilton coming back as Sarah Connor, bad ass.
Yeah, I really love this.
Fish, can I just quickly ask you, how did the goo Terminator even work once it lost its exoskeleton? Because, it's skeleton, effectively.
Yeah, because it doubles.
Seen as a goo Terminator, like, what's the point of even having the skeleton?
But in T2, Goo Terminator. He didn't have an inner skeleton.
No, he was goo.
He was just goo. So it's essentially just that Terminator, but with a skeleton in him.
Well, and if anything, it's kind of a downgrade, really, because goo is almost indestructible. Whereas if you solidify, I don't know, whatever. It looked cool.
Anyway,
so basically, what we're saying is he is now like the Terminator Gooigi from Luigi's Mansion 3.
That's exactly what I thought when I was watching, because I'd just been playing.
I knew we'd find a way to Nintendo fight.
Yes, classic Santo. The one thing I was a little bit more disappointed about, actually, the more I think about the film, is the new John Connor, the chick who is doing that. Although she's great, they give her nothing to do. Like Edward Furlong is awesome in Terminator 2. Like he's a kid, yet he's still, you can see these like leadership qualities about him, whereas she's just basically a damsel in distress the whole time. She gets a cool line at the end, but when you really think about it, she doesn't do anything.
No, she doesn't.
It's really disappointing. Like you can't reset it and then give us a boring ass character.
All right. So what do we reckon, boys? 3 stars?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 3. Look, it's not a bad movie. I still liked it. I enjoyed it. It's a Terminator film. Arnie's there, it's cool, but I know he's kind of the worst thing.
Didn't quite hit the mark, but it's still a Terminator film.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Go and watch Terminator 2.
This little girl on her bike is providing me more entertainment than Terminator.
What would you score?
Tune into Must Play!
The movie was fine. I think you're right that it's probably like a 3-star. It's not mind-blowing, it's not terrible, it's a competent action film, it's just not a good Terminator film.
Yeah.
Well, Santo, it's getting a bit dark there. I think it's time for us to say goodbye to you. And you can go out and have dinner and enjoy your tropical lifestyle in the Northern Territory.
It's raining outside out here. We're going to go freeze our butts off. You go wear that awesome shirt.
And when are you back?
Will
we see you next Tuesday?
I will be back and can confirm I'm being mauled by mosquitoes, so I might not look the same next week. But
you'll have
his head will be half the size.
And I think choosing a park to do this was the wrong decision on my part, but that's fine. I will see you guys next week. Have a good rest of the show, and let us know what your thoughts on Terminator were if you've seen it, because I liked it walking out of the cinema, but a bit disappointed.
Yep.
All right.
That's it.
Good to chat, Santo.
See you, Santos.
See you, boys.
All right, what else we got to talk about? Jules.
Just quickly on Terminator, there's a new game coming out next month.
Yes.
I won't delve too much into it because we haven't played it. There is a bit of gameplay around, but it's called Terminator Resistance. It actually looks terrifying.
Yeah, it does kind of.
It's like a stealth Terminator first-person shooter.
Which it's set in the future, right? Like it's about the Resistance. I'm assuming it's kind of about. I can't remember her name. Grace? Was that her name? The chick Terminator?
I mean, maybe.
The girl who came back
but it's
from
Skynet,
the future.
So...
Oh, is it Skynet?
Yeah, it's 30 years after Judgment Day.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm a bit worried. Los Angeles, 30 years after Judgment Day. I'm pretty sure it's still Skynet.
Okay, well,
and you
either
can try
way,
and take it down. Like,
either way, it's Terminators. It's the future. They always seem to make the games in the future, though. I want to see more games. Like, the Terminator 2 game on the SNES and Mega Drive was, like, based around the movie, obviously. So
Yeah.
it was all in this day, and you got to play as the Terminator in, like, real, like, now.
Yeah.
I want to see more of that sort of stuff. I'll definitely be playing this, because
Anyway, head to mustplay.net.au. There's 10 minutes of gameplay there. The developers Tayon,
yeah, that
they haven't
worries
done a
me.
whole lot. Which
Rambo, the video game, was not good.
I never played it, and then the Heavy Fire series, which is like a war shooter. But yeah, Tayon. I haven't heard too much from them, but we'll give them a shot.
We'll
We'll
give it
see
a
how
crack,
they go.
and we'll review it.
It'll be on
as it comes out.
Xbox and PlayStation on November 22nd.
Man, this month is huge.
Anyway, let's just rattle through the rest of what's on the agenda. Spider-Man. We touched on Spider-Man earlier, but this is different Spider-Man. That Spider-Man. There's a sequel coming, which I am so excited for, but
It's so far away.
it's in 2022.
That animation takes time, man.
But I'm really keen for that.
I'm very keen. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is my favorite Spider-Man movie. I've said over and over, it's a 5 out of 5 film. So if they can come anywhere near as good as that, it's going to be.
Well, I wonder if it'll be Spider-Verse related or if it'll just be Spider-Man related.
Oh, is it? Do we not know that it's?
Well, we don't have a title for the film.
It's just
it's the sequel to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
could be anything. Spider-Verse is open.
Could be emo Tobey Maguire.
Diablo 4.
I'm keen for it, but Diablo 4 was announced at BlizzCon this week, and it pretty much just looks like Diablo 3. I'm waiting to see a bit more. I did love
Diablo 3 was
Diablo
cool.
2 and 3. I played a lot of.
Yeah. I actually never played the early ones. I played 3 because it was on PS4. And it was like early PS4 days when there weren't many games. I was like, oh, I know that one. And it was good co-op. That's what I remember.
Also at BlizzCon, there was an announcement for a new WoW expansion called Shadowlands, which people are excited about. People still play WoW, which is incredible to think.
Did you ever play WoW?
15
Mesa?
years ago,
No.
was it?
Mesa never even
play
touched it.
vanilla either when they re-released it.
Yeah, right.
So this game's been going for 15 years and they're still pumping out expansions for it,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is incredible. It is a moneymaker. People love World
I feel
of
like it's one of
Warcraft.
those games that, you know, everyone's like, ooh, World of Warcraft, but then they release a new expansion. Everyone's like, oh my god, World of Warcraft, and they just inject that cocaine that is World of Warcraft. And yeah,
Grind.
yeah. My brother loves it. He's always been a big what do you call them?
Adam, are you in here?
MMOs.
MMOs.
Are you going to get this new expansion? Let us
Where
know.
are you, boy?
He's usually here, but he's not tonight. Also, Ant-Man 3, we have a date for when it's going to start filming. So it's not going to be out for a long time. This is part of Phase 4. But January 2021, Michael Douglas has come out. He was speaking to Collider, and he has said that they're going to start filming it in early 2021.
Cool.
So Ant-Man 3, great series. Paul Rudd was great. Really looking forward to that.
Funnily
one.
enough, though, that I am surprised that they've made so many of them. Like that, I like them. They're not the better ones of the Marvel universe,
they're just
but
good.
they're just fun.
I think that's
It's
the
Paul
thing.
Rudd, man. Like everything Paul Rudd's in is just fun.
Paul Rudd's just great.
You don't even need to think when Paul
I
Rudd's
still haven't
in
watched his Netflix show. But
something. No, neither have I. Need to get on it. Too
I'm
much to
told
watch,
it's
man.
alright.
Too much.
And we touched on this last week. The finals for the Red Bull Fight or Flight happened in New South Wales, Sydney, on the weekend, on Saturday. Team Immunity won the $30,000 prize pack, and they're being flown to California to go and watch the grand final of the PUBG Championships. Which, if Meso and I played PUBG last night, and like the loading screens, like in the lobby, it's just all PUBG Championships. Like this thing is huge for them.
Yeah.
So great experience for those
good on
guys
them.
heading over there to California.
huge.
All expenses paid, which is great.
Now this is crazy. Apparently they've announced that there's going to be 7 seasons.
Well,
of
technically-
The Witcher.
They've written enough content for there to be 7 seasons.
Oh, that's what it is. So they're not like it's not solidly 7
no,
seasons.
but there's enough there. They could easily pull off 7 seasons.
I feel like let's just get a good first season, right? Before we start getting
they've
ahead
probably
of
got a
ourselves.
skeleton. They're like, yeah, we could drag that out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Just like the Hobbit.
I'm really keen for this. People are thinking, oh, it's probably going to be, like fantasy, medieval fantasy, but it's, from reading into it a bit more, it seems like it's more of a horror series.
Oh, really?
which I'd be fine
Now,
with.
I didn't
because
realise
The
that
Witcher's terrifying.
The Witcher's
Yeah, I didn't really play the games that much, but like I didn't realize it's based off novels.
Yeah, and
Yeah, so I
originally
thought
novel.
because I thought it was like based off the game, but so it looks like if there's not novels or novel or whatever it is, it might be a little richer than I thought it was.
Well,
Like not saying
that's where the
game
7 seasons
wasn't.
of content lies in the novels.
Yeah. Huge. But that comes out on December 20, the first season on Netflix.
I'm
So
pretty
if
keen
you're
for.
not watching Disney Plus,
I like
then-
Henry Cavill, so I'm
Yeah, so
hoping
do
he
I.
does a good job.
He
And
looks great as
He
this
seems
guy.
really into the character as well.
Yeah.
I've been following him on social media through his process,
Yep.
and he's just loving it
Ah, good
because
on
I
him.
think he plays the games and he understands it a bit.
Man, he's like the perfect human.
Not that this is based off the games, mind you. It is
it's
based off
the
the
novels.
novels.
Does he read the novels?
But I haven't read the novels. I've only played the. Anyway, I'm not going to go into it. Anyway, dude, what are you playing this week? What are you watching this week?
I haven't really been playing a whole lot. Luigi's Mansion. I've been dabbling in a bit of Mansion. But I did go see another movie with my boy, with Kit.
Oh, yeah.
Taking him to his second movie, another horror film. It was Ready or Not, which is a film about this girl gets married into a family, and it's like a tradition that they play a game when they get.
I've seen the trailer for it. It looks pretty full on.
Yeah, well, basically they play hide or seek, and if they get hide or seek, if that's what the game is chosen, the family has to kill the bride before the
I want to know,
sun
is like,
comes up.
do all of the games that they could possibly play end in someone trying to be
No,
killed?
it seems like it's only if it's hide or seek, and it's only come up twice in the entire history of this family, and it's a whole supernatural thing around it. But if you get like Old Maid, they don't. They just play Old Maid, but and they go to bed. But this was cool. It's gory. It's fun. The main chick, she's an Aussie girl. I think she's somehow related to the guy who played Agent Smith. What was his name? Hugo Weaving. Yeah.
Samara Weaving.
Samara Weaving. Yeah. She is absolutely outstanding. And it was just a really fun horror movie. And I think Kit liked it. He cried a little bit during it. But we've started going to like early movies. So we go to like a 10 o'clock session when there's no one in there. You can, and you know, it's good. You can book seats these days. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
check if there's no one in, we'll go.
Yeah.
So we had a whole
That's
cinema
very
to it.
considerate of you.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, good.
Anyway, I liked it.
Do
what
it while you
been-
can.
Yeah.
I platinumed Medieval.
Whoa.
I 100%ed that.
Holy cow. Was it
Mind
hard?
you,
Like,
it was really easy. It's
Okay.
like platinum rating was like 2%. Oh, sorry, 2 out of 10. Like in its difficulty. So it was
2 out of 10.
It was pretty easy to platinum, but it was great fun finishing that one off. And I've been playing the Batman Telltale series.
Oh, so good.
It was really cheap on Switch this week. Actually, I think it still is. Season 1 is only $11.
Yeah. Season 1. I played the first couple of episodes of season 2, I think, but the first season I smashed. I loved it.
Well, I've just started that one. Just finished
Yeah.
episode 1
Yeah.
of season 1.
And what are you feeling? You liking it?
Well, I've never played one like this before. The only Telltale series I'd played was The Walking Dead season 1.
Yeah.
And this one is completely different. I don't know what I expected, but this is completely different.
It's basically just an interactive movie, right? Like
It is, but it's
which
really
I like.
it's a really good story. So
Yeah, it's a
I'm really
very good
enjoying that. So
story.
I'll keep
Highly recommend.
that one up. And
Cool. And Santo has been in Darwin, so don't worry about him.
I'm hoping that he took Luigi's Mansion with him on his Switch.
did
if
we
he
know
got it back
he's
from his
played it
brother.
yet? Yeah, his brother had it
Sa-
last week. He was so keen.
Sandra, let us know if you've had a chance to play that. But anyway, that's pretty much everything for this week. If
Yeah,
you want to
good
stay
week.
up to date with what we're doing, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter. I am actually using Twitter a little bit now.
You're doing the twit?
Doing the twit.
You're tweeting?
Instagram.
Tweet.
We're also on Twitch. And mustplay.net.au is our website.
Please check us out.
Until
Until next week.
next week. Thanks for watching.